Welcome to All the Gear But No Idea, the South Australian fishing podcast hosted by Rhodey and Diz. The boys will share their tall tales of the one that got away, as well as some regular segments they know all you fishing tragics will enjoy.
G'day and welcome to All the Gear But No Idea, episode 97. Diz.
Better now, thanks.
Always good to see you and talk fishing with you and to all our listeners. And we've got a ripping guest tonight.
We do. Ben Calvert. He's coming on the show today. He's been making an absolute name for himself up north. We can't wait to hear about that later. He's been doing exceptionally well in some Barra Comps. Up there, comes down here, smashes the fish over summer, and it's going to be a great chat with him later on in the episode.
He does, Diz. It's pretty impressive what he's done. He's gone from fishing tuna and squid and whiting locally over a couple of years. He's rocketed up the leaderboards of some of the big competitions up in Northern Queensland, Diz.
Yeah, just sort of, I think it's impressive just that he's gone up there, he's figured them out, you know, and no doubt met some people along the way, got a few tips and done some research and time on the water, but he's figured it out and he's cracked the code. We'll hear from him later. We don't want to give anything away, but he's got some lifetime fish.
He does, Diz, and you can't crack the code on the fish around the corner, and he's cracked them 3,000 kilometres away.
Oh, a bit harsh.
Nah, fair. Anyway,
harsh.
mate, let's keep it moving. I'll give you a whack and I'll keep moving. So what about your oranges and lemons, Diz?
Yeah, look, I'll throw it out there, mate. We've just bloody done it on the King George.
Oh, 30 whiting in under 2 hours.
We smashed them last week.
We were very happy, weren't we?
Look, we did all right on them, winter. We didn't get away as much as we'd liked. We did all right, few sessions, Metro, but by comparison to previous years, we didn't do too well. And I was just really looking to get the monkey off the back, and we did in this trip. It'd been a good month or so since we'd been out on the boat.
Yeah, it had.
Maybe even more.
Yeah.
And we spent a bit of time in the car, got over there, and bang, we were into them. We got into them in a big way. So it was lovely to get 30 good, healthy fish. Great day out in the water all in all. What was your orange, mate?
Diz, I'm going to say Christmas is just upon us.
Oh.
It's always nice this time of year when you start, bought my pork belly for Christmas lunch this afternoon.
Yeah.
Couple of steaks.
Lil's no doubt got her head around Christmas a bit more this year.
She can certainly say Santa when there's an ad about Santa.
Yeah, good.
If that tells you anything.
Does she like staring at the Christmas tree with the lights on?
If you
like pulling the baubles off?
She likes pulling the baubles off. We haven't actually got the lights up, to be honest.
Right, okay. Why's that?
Laziness.
Fair enough. Yeah, Ned loves the lights.
I think our old ones were short-circuiting the house, actually.
Yeah, okay. Right.
From last year, and we just haven't quite got around to it this year. But the ball balls are a hit, and the tinsel.
Yeah. Good shout. All right, roll us into your lemon then.
Oh, it's always flat working a couple of days next week. You get a bit of FOMO with everyone saying, I got 10 days off, I got 2 weeks off. We're both in jobs that have sort of a bit of work on next week.
Yeah, we don't stop. We sort of continue to remain remain open the whole way through. I'm going to have the public holidays off, which will be great this year. But I agree, you go to a lot of functions this time of year where people are having 2 weeks off and 10 days off and this off and that off, and they're wrapping up. And you know what it's like when you're starting to wrap up, you sort of pull your foot off the pedal a bit. You slow down. You're a bit slower to reply to people's emails. You let a few phone calls go through to the keeper, that sort of stuff. So anyway, bit flat, but look, if it's absolutely howling over that break, I won't really care. I'll be glad to work, and then we'll get out on the weekends and hopefully the tuna rock up and we'll do a bit of damage on them. My lemon, Rhodey, if you don't mind, has been what do you not like happening at this time of year? I'll tell you what you don't like happening at this time of year is your work car getting written off.
Ooh, that's a blow.
Yeah, because those people that have 2 weeks off at this time of year, for some reason or another, it's insurance people.
Oh, yeah.
They don't want to know you at this time of year. Car crash people, they'll tell you that they might be able to get to the job this time next year. There's a real market for opening up a panel beating joint, I'll tell you that much for free.
So have you got it sorted?
We have. It was a total write-off. Bought ourselves a new car. We're into them.
Is that staff member looking for other employment or?
Nah, it wasn't her fault, mate. Somebody just pulled out right in front of her. It's crazy.
Oh, fair enough.
Yeah, he was an old duck. He accepted complete responsibility, which was fantastic.
Did you take him down the cop shop and said, maybe rip this license away?
No, he wasn't that old, but I think it would have rattled his confidence a bit.
Fair enough.
Anyway, Roddy.
We shouldn't joke, should we, Diz?
No, it's not funny. Let's move on, mate, because we've got some news here.
Diz, we certainly do. This is what we teased it in the last episode, Diz, and now we're going to full on announce it. What do we got?
We have got 100th episode, and we are going to, I've talked about this a lot, like you said. We've been in the nervous 90s. We've now cracked it. We're 97. We've got a few in the pipeline leading into 100. We can't wait. We are really keen to rip the helmet off, thank the crowd, kiss the badge, all of that stuff, and celebrate 100.
Diz, and we're going to invite all our listeners, all our former guests. You're all welcome. Come along to the Colonel Light Gardens RSL Club on January 21.
Yes.
3 p.m. kickoff.
Yep.
There's going to be a sausage sizzle, Diz.
I was going to say, tell the listeners, mate, why would they bother giving up their Sunday?
Barbecue on us.
Oh, that sounds good.
Beers on tap at the RSL.
That sounds juicy.
They're cold beers at a good price. I know from experience, Diz.
They are tasty beers.
And we are going to have giveaways.
Ooh.
We're going to sort of record some clips, some content for our 100th episode, Diz.
Door prizes for the kids, I'm hearing.
Oh, look, I'm hearing all sorts.
Yeah. Face painting? Jumping castle?
Face painting if you want me. Luke's got a permanent texter. You can have your face painting.
Somebody blowing up balloons and tying.
I could probably do your balloon.
It'll be like the local fair.
Yeah, let's not get too carried away, mate. I don't know how big your pockets are, but you can fund the jumping castle.
Look, it's going to be a great afternoon. January 21st, like you said, in the afternoon for a couple of frosties at the RSL. We'll be talking a bit of dribble, catching up with everybody who's been part of the journey along the way, and be great to thank them in person for all of their support over the years, Rhodey.
And we're going to get some guests on to tell us what they've hopefully enjoyed about the first 100 episodes.
Oh, hopefully we don't eat crickets.
No, we'll make sure we word them up first, Diz.
Yeah, absolutely. Sounds good. We'll have our merch there, Rhodey. Of course, we'll have the caps. We'll have some beanies. Not that it'll probably be beanie weather, but we'll have them floating around.
T-shirts.
There'll be some T-shirts there. There'll be few and far between for those T-shirts.
They can't be far away, those pre-orders.
Yep, pre-orders. That might be a great time to pick up your pre-orders.
Yes, it could be.
So we're certainly going to welcome that. And, as usual, be encouraging everybody to send in their photos for the photo comp, and we'll probably announce a winner at that episode, you'd think, Rhodey?
Yeah, it'll be around then, Diz, and we'll have a big prize giveaway to celebrate the 100th episode as well, but we won't quite reveal that one just yet.
Yeah, we'll start drip feeding a bit more information. For now, you'll be hearing from us about an Eventbrite link.
Yeah, that's on the Facebook and Instagram.
That's right. It's on the Facebook and Instagram now. You'll see the details there. You can whack it in the calendar, set yourself a reminder, and look, I personally can't think of anything better to do on the 21st of Jan in the afternoon, sitting there, knocking back a few frosties, talking a bit of rubbish.
Exactly right, Diz. And we do urge you to jump on that Eventbrite and RSVP just so we can get the catering under control, Diz.
Yes, please do. That's good. All right, Rhodey. Well, let's get stuck into the news.
Rhodey and Diz have been searching far and wide to bring you the latest news across all fishing in the state, and we'll give you the rundown on what you need to know.
Rhodey, the first news story is a kingfish record. It is a speed record that has been tagged.
Yep.
It was an interstate recapture. Is that right?
It was, Diz. So this is coming from New South Wales, who manage the game fish tagging program. So this was a kingfish that was originally caught and tagged on the 5th of October 2023 in Coffin Bay by Ethan Parsons. It was captured less than a month later on October 31, so it's that 26 days later, by a commercial fishing vessel off Jervis Bay, New South Wales. Diz, so that was a 126 centimetre fish, and it travelled 980 nautical miles, which is 1.8 1,819 kilometres in the space of only 26 days, which averages out to be 37 nautical miles or a whopping 70 kilometres per day.
That's unbelievable.
It's a lot, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's and so they're saying that's the best, fastest swim they've ever seen. Speed record.
That's amazing.
It's phenomenal distance to cover.
It is. You sort of wonder how they clearly not much sort of stopping and hanging around in the same zone, feeding on the same fish.
Nah, just feed on the run. Like
Just
Macca's bloody drive through all the way.
Yeah, I wonder whether they've got some sort of sardine drive-through service under there.
It's amazing.
It is amazing, Rhodey, and that was a very interesting story. There's a post being put up. I think it was New South Wales Fisheries page sort of outlined the distance in which it travelled. When you see it on the map and you start to crunch those numbers like you've just done, it is quite phenomenal. Really great to see those recaptured details. Shows that, obviously when you practice... When you sort of recreational fishing and you're practicing good techniques around taking care of fish, it really does show that their health can thrive even after you've caught them and released them back into the wild, Rhodey.
It's certainly good to see, and that's why we encourage you all to get out there and tag some fish, because it's good to get the research and good to get the numbers.
Absolutely. Rhodey, let's move on. There is some fish fee relief for the marine scale industry. Our good friend Fraser Ellis, of course, independent member for Narunga, has posted on his Instagram feed, but of course it's done the rounds further than that. Rhodey, tell us.
Yeah, Diz, I'm just reading this, the PERSA document they've put out. So it's the South Australian Marine Scale Fishery licence holders will benefit from fee relief for their licence fee, and that's as the sector enters the later stages of the reform. So $1.55 million has been committed, and that's to offset the licence, I think, which I think it's supposed to end at the end of 2024-25, and that was set up by the former government.
Yes.
So I think they're extending their support for the industry as it continues its period of adjustment.
Yeah. And look, I mean, I think it's welcomed relief, isn't it?
I think so, Diz, and this is sort of, I think, basically to tide the industry over until the new licence fee structure comes into play, and that will be made up of a base fee of 30% and a quota fee of 70%. So that results in greater access to our states. So those who have greater access to the resources pay more than those operators with little quota.
Yeah. Very good. Very good. Well, a bit more to come, I suppose, on that over the years when we understand a bit more about the management of the sector. Rhodey?
Certainly one we'll keep an eye on, Diz.
Absolutely. Rhodey, this Yabby Net program just continues to thrive and prosper no matter where you look.
Yeah, Diz, this was a Recfish SA thing they've put out in the last couple of days, just saying that the Deputy Chair has hand-delivered $3,200 of pyramid nets up to the Barra Council, and they haven't, or there's some still available up there, and they're encouraging everyone to get in contact with the Community Recreation and Events Manager, Andrew Hayes, for details, or contact the council sort of directly via email, the Berry Barra Council, for how you can get involved in that net exchange. Diz?
Yeah, we love it, mate. I'm really, really glad to see this program continue. We've obviously talked about some very successful events they've held where this was, part of it or in conjunction with the event around this exchange. It's a great initiative for the environment. It's a great initiative for recycling and how we can do good in the sector. So good to see it continue. I'm sure it'll wind up before too long once we sort of saturate the market with the new nets, and then everybody will just replenish them when they need them once they get damaged over time, hey?
That's exactly right, Diz. So these nets are left over from the last event they had, I think.
Yeah.
So I think that's where they come from.
Very good. Rhodey, new Stabicraft model on the market. Wowee, the 2050 Trekker.
The Trekker, Diz. It's a nice little layout. Got the access and sort of casting space at the front.
Yes.
Sort of walk through the windscreen. It's a bit more open than the other models in that size bracket.
Yep. They were teasing it for a little while, weren't they? As they usually do. They do a great job promoting their gear. Stabbycraft, a sort of a national brand now, international brand, I should say, where they've focused heavily on that American market, where they've established a new factory and, no doubt getting thousands upon thousands of orders. But the 2050 Trekker we love the look of. A couple of reasons. I love the canvas folding down Bimini top.
Yep.
I love the open design.
Yeah, I think that'll be good on a hot summer's day, Diz, because I know the super cabs and some of those bigger boats can get pretty warm.
Yep.
So this will certainly have plenty of airflow.
Yep. I love some of the Stabbycraft innovation around access through to the bow.
Yep. No, that'll be handy.
Real family orientated boating. You'd think this is targeted towards the lakes in the States.
Yeah,
clearly it's multi-dimensional, but
and it's the same hull as some of their other boats that everyone's been going offshore in for years, Diz. So it's still
built on the 2050 Super Cab hull.
It's still going to be really capable offshore as well.
Absolutely.
So it's I think it's going to be versatile. And I know it was probably targeted at those American lake fishos, but I can see it fitting in pretty well in South Australia.
Do you reckon it'd fit in your shed?
Oh, mate, comfortably.
Righto.
Let's get one.
We're on. Stabbycraft, if you're hearing us, well, you're welcome.
Not too late for a Christmas present, Diz.
Love it.
If you want to buy me one.
Rhodey, let's move on from that. Crab cooker at the Ardrossan Caravan Park. Mate, I'm impressed with this thing. It looks very nice.
What do you expect when you go to a country caravan park? You expect probably a bit of running water for a shower, a toilet, and, a little barbecue.
Yeah.
What have they put there? They've put in a bloody crab cooker.
The men's shed.
How
the crew
good.
from the men's shed. What a fantastic initiative this is. There's been some very wise heads got together to put this thing together. It's a great looking crab cooker.
And what I like about it is, as a country town, what do you need to do? You play to your strengths.
You do.
Ardrossan is a crabbing town.
It is.
So what do? You put in a crab cooker.
It's a crabbing mecca.
I reckon other towns should follow this initiative.
Yep.
I wouldn't be against some Riverland towns getting them in for yabbies.
Okay.
I reckon it's got potential to grow.
Yeah, so do I. I think this is a great initiative from the men's shed. No doubt will keep the people who frequent the Ardrossan Caravan Park very happy, and I think there'll be some other caravan parks keeping a close eye on this one, Rhodey, and no doubt a very successful little initiative.
Diz, that's a good news story to finish on. Let's keep moving out of the news.
Now it's time for Rhodey and Diz to really show you what it means to have all the gear with a lot of idea as they review a tackle item of the week.
So, Rhodey, we did sort of touch on earlier in today's episode about how we got away and got into the whiting. So there was 4 of us on board. Your dad and your cousin, you were going for Best Cousin Award, getting your cousin onto the fish.
I even gave up the corner of the boat that was catching the most fish to her.
You did give up the corner of the boat. She did a great job fishing there, though, Rhodey, and certainly outfished you, which is not too difficult to do, especially when you've got an excellent piece of kit in your hands like the Shimano Sienna 2,500. Did the damage.
Diz, I'm not here to talk down our tackle item of the week, but it was the cheaper option of the reels that we had on board the boat that day, Diz.
It was. And look, your cousin also happens to be named Sienna.
Yep.
We didn't give her the rod and reel because her name was Sienna.
No, I took the rod and reel because I thought, I'll give everyone else the expensive rods and reels, Diz.
Of course.
Being the good person that I was.
You were. Geez, that's very kind of you.
So I took the slightly cheaper option, but as we found out, no less quality, Diz. I took the Shimano Sienna. It was the 2,500 size. It is a great little whiting rod for a very Diz, for a very affordable price.
It certainly is, Rhodey, and it comes with Shimano's 10-year warranty. That's
a bonus, Diz. It comes at a very affordable price. I'm just looking now at the Sports Fishing Scene website, $59.99.
That's a bargain, mate. And that's a great entry-level piece of kit for what I certainly consider a very top quality reel that's quite versatile as well, because that thing's not afraid of flicking a few squid lures around.
Yep.
it'd handle a good sized salmon trout.
Squid, flathead.
Yep.
We've used it on carp, freshwater. Mm-hmm. It's versatile, and I know the more money you spend, obviously it lasts a bit longer. It is a little bit smoother, but value for money, this is right up there with the best of them. This
absolutely, Brody.
And we bought it at Killers at Streaky Bay.
Yes.
Do you remember that?
Yes, I do.
Because we had another reel that had given up over there, and we jumped in and bought a beautiful little Sienna over there, Diz, and it's lasted us for 3 or 4 years since then, and it's still as smooth as the day we bought it.
Yep, and that's what you get out of Shimano's gear. Like I said, the 10-year warranty, you can trust the brand in what it is. It's spectacular. We've always been exceptionally happy with the gear, and this delivered on the day with no worries whatsoever, didn't it?
Did I mention that I caught the most fish on it?
You didn't, though. So
I should.
Well, you certainly didn't, and there'll be 3 other people on the boat that back up my side of the story. We won't get them live on the episode. But
you caught the first 3, and then I came home like an absolute steam train.
Mate, I had the queue in the rack after I got the first 15. I knew you couldn't beat me at that
Can we not fight on the podcast, Diz? I know you're a bit salty, but anyway, we'll keep moving, Diz.
Let's dear.
Let's get our guest Ben on the line.
Now it's time to get our guest on the line. We'll ask them the all-important 5 questions, then chat all things fishing in SA.
Dizzy, we are very lucky here to be joined by an Adelaide local who's been making a big go of it on the national stage, Ben Calvert. Ben, welcome to the show.
G'day, mate. How are you?
Yeah,
Thanks for having me.
well, Ben, thank you for coming on the show, mate. We're going to hear a lot more about your excellent job in some of the tournaments you've been participating in recently, and we'll certainly find out that you've got far more idea than we do. But before we get stuck into that, we are going to, of course, ask you the 5 questions. So let's start by you telling us all about your best fish, Ben.
All right. So the best fish, it would have to be... It's probably not the best fish overall, but the most memorable by far is I was out on Tinaroo and I just landed a 120 centimetre, which is probably a lifetime fish.
Oh, yeah.
But about an hour after, I hooked up an 85 centimetre and it towed me up.
Oof.
It had me running from one end of the boat 4 or 5 times, made a massive scene. And, yeah, the fella I was with, we couldn't believe how much effort I had to go to land this 85 after just landing. Yeah. Well, it's pretty much a lifetime fish at 120 centimetres.
It's funny how it can be like that sometimes, isn't it? Now, I just want to say, I don't know if it's arrogance or stupidity giving us an 85 centimetre barra as your best fish after just catching a 120 centimetre barrier, but I do appreciate what you mean.
It's just purely and simply the fight that between 80 and 90 centimetres, they go pretty hard. And if you want an iconic fish, that's the size you really want.
Yeah, beautiful. All right, now tell us, Ben, what is your favourite thing about fishing?
Probably the travel it's allowed us to do. Like, we've travelled quite a lot in the last few years, and we've gone here, there, and everywhere, and it's predominantly been for fishing. And I've made friends all over the country now that I can literally call up and jump on their boat. I've already in the talks with a few people interstate already about flying up and jumping in their boat. So yeah. Just the travel and the friendships you make.
Yeah, excellent, mate. That's a definite common theme, that. It's a travel and all of that stuff that comes along with fishing always seems to be a theme, and we can certainly agree with that. We love getting away and seeing new mates, meeting old ones, all that sort of stuff has been great.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Mate, your first fishing memory or what got you into it?
It all started with the old boy taking me out chasing salmon predominantly, him and his best mate. They'd take me down Yorks, fishing off the beach for salmon and camping, full driving, that sort of thing. And, yeah, it's just snowballed from there.
Yeah, you sort of get hooked in at that young age and the rest is history, really, isn't it?
Yeah, pretty much. It took a little bit of getting used to go from salmon down to whiting and that sort of thing, but I got around it and, yeah, now I love it.
All right, now I'm interested in this next question, Ben. You fish for Barra, you fish for everything local. What is your favourite sort of fishing and why?
Oh, anything lure fishing is exciting. obviously travelling, you can go and chase your top water whiting up to your Barra, deep water jigging. Barra is definitely my favourite style. They're such a unique species, and yeah, they're always going to hold number one for me.
Yeah, excellent. Geez, I'm just reminiscing on that 120 and 85. I'm very jealous. Some excellent fish. Ben, in your travels, mate, you must have had a funny fishing story, or you can tell us about one that got away.
Not so much funny, but I've got one about one that got away. Me and a mate, we were up in Mapoon, which is about an hour north of Weipa in North Queensland. You don't have to go very far in Mapoon. Literally, you launch the boat, go around the corner, maybe a kilometre, and it's all reef, and it is honestly like a fishing mecca.
Wow.
There is everything there, and it's all within a kilometre offshore as well. So we were trolling along, and I'd hooked a GT and a couple of other things, and I hooked up to something, and thought, it come up next to the boat. Oh, that's decent, and disappeared again, and it come up, and I couldn't quite tell what it was. Disappeared, and finally come up and showed itself up next to the boat, and I went, oh, wow, what are we going to do here? It ended up being a big Spanish mackerel. The fella I was with doesn't have the greatest sea legs. It was pretty rough. Few other health issues, and I said, what are we going to do? This thing honestly looked like a dinosaur. And we weren't real confident in actually bringing it in the boat, so I managed to actually knock the hooks off it and let it swim back. It was so big, we genuinely didn't want to bring it in the boat. And my missus she's about 1.6. She might be a bit taller than that. We both got back to the ramp after that day, and we both looked at each other and said, yep, bigger than her. So whatever it was definitely bigger than 1.6 metres. But
wow.
Yeah.
Would have loved to got that one in the boat, I'm sure.
Yeah, it would have been great to get the photos, but all its face was all scarred up, and it looked like a dinosaur. It would have been a shame to do it any damage sort of thing.
Yeah. Beautiful. Well, that's a good one to finish those 5 questions on, Ben. Now we're going to get into a bit more about yourself and the travel you've been doing. Tell us about the travel, the trip, how it all started, what you're all about with your fishing and your travelling.
Well, obviously, like I said, we've been travelling for 4 and a bit years. Spent plenty of time up north, and used to come back here for the summer. Pretty well, it's how it worked. So we were up there last year at that sort of same time when the comps are on, and helped a mate out, seen it all going on, and I thought, oh, well, let's give it a shot this year. So we headed up. We took 3 months off work, me and the missus, went straight up there. Got straight into the northern round, which is at Tinaroo, which is Cairns, basically. It's just an hour above Cairns. Got into that round, and then headed south to pre-fish and get used to all the other dams. Because every dam, you sort of fish each one pretty well the same. They've all got very similar aspects. But yeah, each dam is very different, and they all do very different things. So it takes a little bit of getting your eye in, but once you do, sort of all comes together. So yeah, we just spent the next 3 months pretty much fishing every day, getting used to the dams. The missus loves it as well. So when we can, she'll throw a line in if she's. I fish the comp predominantly with my old boy. He flew up to each round, and we fished it that way. And then I fished the ABT, which is the Australian Bass Tournaments. They do a Brim and Barra round as well. And I also fished the Mackay Tournament Anglers. So ended up doing pretty well in the Mackay Tournament Anglers. The first one I entered was purely because a mate was having a few boat issues, or he was getting it fixed up, and asked me to fish it. I was already there, and I said, sure, why not? We ended up winning one of those rounds.
Wow.
And then...
And you came runner-up in the grand final of that one, did you, in the end?
Yeah, and in the grand final, runner-up. So, a little bit of cash, which sort of takes the sting off of things, because obviously it's not the cheapest trip, but it all helps.
Geez, you're living the dream, coming runner-up in a tournament in a completely different state, doing a different style of fishing. That's a huge effort, Ben, and you came 9th overall, I think, in the Bass tournament. Is that right?
Yeah, correct. So 9th overall, I think 9th place or 10th place was our best in that. But these guys are essentially the best of the best. They're no slouches at all. And to be in that top 10, it was, pretty stoked about that.
Yeah, that's a huge effort. Well done, mate.
Cheers.
I was going to say, it'd be you've just gone up there and had an absolute glamour run, like top 10, runner up. You've just gone up and probably all of them are going, who's this bloke coming up here doing so well in our comps? Probably had people fishing it for like decades or something, like never been able to crack the top 10.
Yeah, it seemed a little bit strange to begin with. I don't think there was too many people that were overly stoked about it, but a lot of them come through in the end and pretty good, and getting to chatting to a few of them, especially some of the bigger well-known guys, and they all ended up being pretty good towards the end. So
yeah, wow. Well, tell us, I'm interested, what did you learn, like doing something completely different, targeting something new and doing the competitions? Tell us sort of how you do it differently next time, or what you learned along the way.
I learned that whilst they're all a little bit different, the dams, they all fish relatively simply. So if anyone wanted to travel up to chase them, there are some key features which I won't go on too much. There's plenty of podcasts and that sort of things that cover it. And once you realise that Barra are very pattern particular. They're very subtle with when they want to eat and when they don't want to eat. You can see 1,000 Barra and they will not eat until it's time. So any changes and that sort of thing in the weather can work against you. So it's been the most important thing, I think, to have a successful trip is to be adaptable. It can be like, I was fishing Peter Faust. I was there for 2 weeks and it was hard fishing. We were really struggling. I was only getting 1 or 2 a session each session, and a bit further south down in Mondrian, it was firing.
Yeah, right.
I'm talking young lads going out and banging metre 20s in the granddad's rooftop tinny and multiple, So if you can go in with an open mind and get on the line and do your research as to which dam's firing at the time, there's plenty of Facebook pages and that sort of thing. You can work it out pretty quickly. And then as long as you're adaptable, you might have to go from dam to dam. I don't know why they fire at one dam and not the other. It could be the water temps. They're very finicky fish. They're very particular. You can literally say, I could be at that spot between 5 o'clock and 5:30, and they will eat. You'll see them come in, they'll eat, and then they'll disappear. And it's like, where did 100 Barra just go?
Yeah, wow. It's a different kettle of fish, that sort of fishing, isn't it? Now, tell us, was it all barramundi up there, or did you target a bit of everything else?
No, this trip I focused purely and simply on Barra. I've done a little bit of offshore stuff and chasing other things up there, but being that it was comp rounds and I needed to learn a couple of dams, I just purely and simply set my mind on freshwater Barra.
Yeah, no, fair enough. And what about, you've been travelling on and off for 4 years, you said. Where else have you fished that's particularly memorable?
I would definitely say that Marpoon area north of Weipa, it's a little Indigenous community, glamour little spot. They've got a little general store with a servo, so you got fuel. They bring in food, frozen meat, that sort of thing. So you've got access to your basics. And then just up the road, right on the the boat ramp, is a beachside camp, and it's $5 per person per night. It's unpowered. There's a flushing toilet, a cold shower, which is all you need because it's normally pretty warm. And the community do full water tests and everything, so you've got full access to drinking water. You can wash your boat down after each session, and honestly, I can't believe I'd never heard of it until I got up there because, it's an awesome spot.
Yeah, far out, Rody. Sounds like it's on the bucket list there, mate.
Yeah,
Hey, maybe we'll come up with you next year, Ben. Tag along. You can show us the spots.
For sure.
Epic, mate. So what is the plan? Is it so you're going to continue that pattern, down here in the summer, head back up north for the winter? You're sort of given that much thought, or I suppose you're just concentrating on summer and waiting for the tuna to rock up?
Yeah, well, definitely waiting for the tuna to rock up. SA's over summer period. It's a pretty hard spot to beat. Like, we've normally running from the storms. I mean, as everyone would have seen, exactly where I was, like in Cairns, that's underwater now, and a lot of places are pretty chaotic or pretty hot and wet and that sort of thing. So SA summer, it's definitely the ideal place to be. But I've sort of, made a little bit of a mark in the scene, so I definitely feel like I've got to go up and back it up next year. So do the summer here, try and get into some tuna and some squid for sure, and later in the year go and chase some sambos, I reckon.
Oh, how good. So what are we going for, top 5 next year and winner of the MTA? Is that the plan, or...?
Oh, top 5 would be nice. If I can just place a top 5, that would be, I'd be pretty happy with that.
I bet.
No, that's look, you got to set the goal somewhere. So I reckon we go for number 1, Diz.
Ben's number 1 supporter, mate.
We might get a little sticker on the side of his boat or something.
We'll send you out with a bit of merch. Sounds good.
Tell us about your boat. We did just touch on that.
Oh, yes. So boats, I bought it over COVID. I did have a little bit of a little tinny. Sold it before we left and regretted it the day that we left pretty well. So we did 12 months. We went up to the NT and then come down to the New South Wales, and I was like, no, I've got to get another boat. Over COVID, obviously, there wasn't a lot available, even the wait times were just ridiculous. So I picked up a 435 Quinny with what was, I was told, a low hour, 40 horsepower. It ended up only doing 2.5 hours, I think it was, and it hadn't seen anything more than 4,500 RPM. So I ended up picking that up at a bit of a bargain. And then before this trip, I'd had it laid out how I roughly wanted. But before this trip, I had it all spruced up. So I had new cast decks, frames welded in, and gave it a full spruce up. Electronics package, obviously, the Barra, you need a fairly substantial electronics package, especially to be competitive.
Yeah.
I used to get around with just a 7-inch Lowrance unit, but, now being competitive, I've gone like a 16-inch unit and active target and that sort of thing. So, I had Brett from MFT Mechanical. He's a guru on the old pig gun, and he welded up all my frames and everything, and got it all spruced up. So it was comp ready, and turns out it paid off. Yeah,
beautiful. And you have that back in Adelaide now. You fished that over the summer, do you?
Yeah, I've got it back, but I'm pretty lucky. I've got like I said, with the friendship groups and travelling, I'm pretty lucky that I've got a few very good friends and I can head out with them. So the tuna and that sort of thing, I normally head out with Michael Steele, and he lets me use the boat or go out with him and that sort of thing, and another few mates that pretty keen with bigger boats and want to go and do some missions next year. So we'll go and give that a red hot crack.
Beautiful. You're better off having a mate with a boat than having one yourself anyway. Don't have to worry about cleaning it or looking after it or servicing it or any of that.
Oh, I think that's why Michael might cut me a bit of slack. I try to do my best and look after it. So
fair enough.
Steely's never too far away from the fish, so you blokes must know what you're doing, that's for sure. So what's your theory, mate? When are the tuna rocking up? The water's not warm enough yet? What's the go?
Oh, I'm not real sure. I've heard a few whispers that there's some smaller ones hanging around. I'm not really too sure. I was hoping to get out this weekend for a look, but that wind's not looking awfully nice. So, I don't think they'll be very far away, and the chaos will begin.
Just in time for Christmas and Boxing Day to be chaos, I imagine.
Yeah, that's it. So looks like I'll have to wait till afterwards because, I don't really feel like battling that straight during Christmas.
All right, Ben. Now you've got a bit of a social media presence, I think, don't you? Tell us about how the listeners can follow your adventures and your success in the future, no doubt.
Yeah, it's not the biggest, but if anyone's got any questions or wants to follow what we do, Instagram's probably the main one. It's just hooked_on_exploring. And look, that's probably your best bet. If anyone's interested in going up to do a trip like that, it doesn't have to cost you a fortune. You can do it relatively cheap, really, except for time and fuel. If you can spare the time and the fuel, if someone wanted to go and catch a big fish, I'd be more than happy to point them in the right direction, as long as they can aim for that sort of October to November period. If you can afford a week or two off, and you want to go and chase a metre plus barra, the dams are definitely the place to do it. And I'd be more than happy to help out anyone that wants to go and chase them.
That's a very generous offer of you, Ben. I've just booked in my leave for that time next year, so we'll keep in touch and we'll keep the plans happening in the background.
Well, actually, I think I messaged you guys the day I hooked the 120. I think you were leaving the following day.
Wow.
Yeah, you did. I was sitting on the beach at Port Douglas thinking, can we delay our flight by 24 hours or what?
Yeah, I remember thinking, you should definitely poke your head up here, because there's quite a few hanging around. They weren't chewing quite right yet, but there were some big ones hanging around, and I had a bit of luck those few days before and after.
Yeah.
So
no, we'd been out and done well on the reef, but you certainly made me jealous with your barra photos as well.
Excellent, mate.
All right, Ben. Well, thanks for coming on and sharing your wisdom, and you've been very generous with your time, but also your knowledge and your tips for anyone that wants to follow in your footsteps. And hopefully, we might see a flock of South Australians heading up there and rising their way up the leaderboard, one by one.
Yeah, that'd be great. I mean, like I said, essentially it's time and fuel, and even if you didn't want to do the comps, like really, if you gave yourself 2 weeks. 2 weeks is pretty much all you'd really need, and there's a very good chance of cracking that meter fish. Get onto some podcasts and listen to what you need, and flick me a message if anyone else needs to, and hopefully someone can go and tick off that bucket list fish.
Excellent, mate. Thank you very much for your time. Great to chat with you and hear about all your adventures, and we'll hopefully see you out in the water sometime this summer.
No worries. Thanks very much, guys. Cheers for this.
Cheers,
thanks,
mate.
Ben. Dizzy, how good was that?
Yeah, it was great, Rhodey, and I think very good to hear from someone who's just been at a point where he can commit some time, gone up north, learnt a new technique, and has really cracked the code on the barra up there. You don't have to look too far onto his socials to realise that he is not all talk, unlike yourself. He really backs it up by delivering on the fish.
And some of those others in those competitions are bloody good fishers, and they've been doing it for a long time.
That's why I made the point to him, mate. Like, I reckon there'd be a lot of people in that scene that'd just be like, who's this new kid on the block coming here and smashing them? Like, that'd be, no doubt a great bunch of blokes, but far out, blokes and girls, but far out, it'd just be, he's done very well for himself. Let's say that.
Well, I might see if he needs a decking and go up there with him next year. I could go. I could do the podcast remotely for a couple of months.
Yeah, what, you dime me in, or are you sort of looking for Ben to substitute me out?
Oh, well, I've talked about artificial intelligence, so maybe me and Ben will go at it instead.
You and Ben and the robot?
Yeah, why not?
Gee whiz, okay. Well, the writing's on the wall for me. I better perform. So having said that, Rhodey, let's get into the fishing report.
Rhodey and Diz have been out on the water to bring you the news about where they're biting. Now it's time for the fishing report.
All right, Diz, we've already spoken about the York Peninsula whiting that we nailed 30 of them in good time last weekend, Diz.
Yeah, it was great. Nice opportunity to get away and get stuck into some fish in good time. It was a nice, enjoyable morning. Got up early, got over there, got the boat in. It was a little bit bumpier than we thought it was going to be.
I'm not sure the weatherman did a great job.
No, but it just sort of just slowly got better, and that part was forecasted. So we enjoyed the day's weather improving as we went on, which was good fun.
And we fished up just past Port Vincent, just north of Port Vincent.
Yeah, we did, Rhodey. It was
we've had
some of our usual stomping
fair
grounds
bit of
down
success there.
Yeah, quite a few other boats in the water.
Good spot to launch. Nice facilities there at Port Vincent is.
Yes. Yeah, no, it was lovely, mate. It was nothing wrong with that at all. We've been fishing some of our other haunches recently and not had too much joy, but it was nice to get down there and get stuck into them.
It was, Diz. And where else have the whiting been biting? Have you been following that one?
Oh, I haven't been following it overly close, mate. I think they've kind of moved out a bit further metro and some of those usual spots over at Port Hughes, Wallaroo. Some of Dad's mates over there have been getting stuck into them in a pretty big way. No doubt the York's crew who would have finished their work in the tractor would be out there getting stuck into them. Joey Virgin down at Marion Baby.
They've actually been pulling out a few tractor crayfish too, Diz, I saw.
Have they?
Yes.
Okay.
I reckon I did see that
doing
one.
some underwater tractor hunting.
Yes, firing down at Marion Bay, I heard.
Very good, Rhodey. Let's move on to the tuna, mate. Now, this is a great time of year. If you like a bit of banter on some of those Victor Harbour fishing pages, then just start sort of trolling through some of the comments where some people say any tuna rocked up yet, and you'll get the GPS coordinates to the Woolworths tuna aisle. You'll get all sorts of commentary, and it's hard to decipher the truth from the rubbish in there sometimes, Rhodey.
Diz, do you want me to just replay the same conversation we've had about the last 6 podcasts? They're coming. They're on their way. Here we go.
Yeah.
They're still not here
Dust
yet.
off your gear.
They're certainly not here in big numbers. I wouldn't be surprised if they're just around the corner. I haven't caught one, or we haven't caught one ourselves. We also haven't gone looking, but those that haven't sort of publicly announced that they're here.
Yeah.
But they can't be far away.
Good summary. Like it, Rhodey. Now, another great friend of the show, of course, is Team Hardcore. They've been doing very well. A stonking 2.2 metre bronzy.
They did very well, Diz. I'm sort of putting 2 and 2 together. I think they're probably over on the West Coast.
Yeah.
Don't know that for sure, but they also caught a nice tailor, Diz, and that's not a common
species
sight in these South Australian waters, is it?
No, it's not. And some lovely fish there. They've been getting into them in a big way. They do very well. They cover some ground. Great bunch of guys. We love having them following along and sharing their journeys along the way as well.
Yes, it is very good for them. And they are always really good at sharing with us, keeping us in the loop, giving us an update. So shout out to, I think it's Rick from Team Hardcore.
Yep, love it. Rhodey, kingfish off the Rapid Bay jetty. I'm hearing people have been doing well down there on squid. I think there's been some sightings of some schools of kingies. A lot of people try and balloon a bait off there, or they try and trawl through that area if they've got the boat in the water and drag a live squid along the back and give their gear a bit of a workout on those absolute powerhouse fish.
Diz, we'll be down there before long having a real crack at them, won't we?
We certainly will be. Dan Way, another great friend of the show, of course, has been doing a bit of work down on some of the jetties. He's been doing very well, getting stuck into a lovely trevally, which no doubt would have pulled some string.
That was a good fish. That was, I think you said 50 centimetre plus.
Yeah, very good fish.
And off a jetty, that's a good catch. I don't know where it was.
Yeah, I'm not too sure
Southern
either.
jetty, I'm guessing.
Does spend a bit of time on the Port Noarlunga jetty, but could have been any of those ones down south. But Dan did get stuck into a good feed of squid and some
crabs
and some blueies. Yes,
because that's good to see. Because we did put a pot in the water, a couple of pots in for a little, just while we were scaling and doing all that with the fish. We did put a crab pot over the side and checked it a couple of times. And what did we get? Like 2 little undersized ones.
We got nothing.
And a female. So good to see that they're firing better around Adelaide than they are over on Yorks is what I read into that.
Yep, no, good call, Rhodey. Very good, and that's a juicy little fishing report for you guys out there. We're looking forward to seeing everybody send in their photos over summer. Can't wait to get out there and find them.
This next episode of the podcast should be the fishing report to end all fishing reports, because everyone is going to be out and about the next couple of weekends.
Yes, good call, Rhodey.
So we should have plenty of content coming up for you in the next episode.
Absolutely. Rhodey, that just about wraps us up, mate. Where can the listeners find us?
Dizzy, we are all over your Spotify, your Apple Podcasts, wherever else you get your podcasts, you will find us there. Diz, and we are on the Facebook, we're on the Instagram. We love it when you tag us in your photos. It makes our job easier when it comes to Fishing Report. We'll give you a share. We'll tell your friends how good you are.
Yeah, we love it.
You'll make Dizzy jealous at work.
Yeah, you will. You certainly will. We love it, and we really love everyone's contributions. We're looking forward to the 100th episode. Ready for anyone who's hanging on this far into our episode. 21st of January, couple of cold frosties, soft drinks if you like, couple of Barbies.
Bring the kids.
Bring the kids. Going to be a great day.
We'll have our little bloody rugrats running around causing trouble.
Yeah, they will, absolutely.
And big thanks to Ben for coming on the podcast and teaching us a heap.
Love it, Rhodey. Good to see you, mate.
Thanks, guys.
Rhodey and Diz hope you enjoyed today's episode of All the Gear But No Idea. Keep up to date by liking and sharing us on Facebook and Instagram. And you can subscribe on all the major podcast platforms. Until next time, good luck fishing.